I'm working in the garden today, and this is the Homestead gardening series, so stay tuned and I'll show you some successes and failures. More successes than failures, so stay tuned. Hello, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. We're in the Homestead garden. The flowers are doing great. I've been harvesting the flower seeds as the flowers die and dry off. You just pluck what's left of the flowers out and you got a handful of seeds. So we're saving that for next year. And we're gonna have a beautiful array of flowers around the homestead, primarily to feed the bees and to repel the pests. So tomatoes are doing great this year. That's a success, huge success. I've got cucumbers, I've got still more cucumbers coming out. So I'm going to be making some more pickles. And we'll do that in the Homestead canning series. Also, we have the basil I've got to take out and get dried and get that ready to lay up and store so I can utilize it throughout the winter. I have peppers that are growing. We're going to harvest those today. And also, we're going to finish harvesting the carrots and I'm going to take them inside, and I'm also going to be chopping those up and canning carrots. Turnips. Got to finish the turnips, and we're just going to store those in the root bin that I've set aside for storing turnips. And what else? We've got beets. Time to harvest those beets, get them cooked up and dried out. I'm going to be doing some preservation of the beets in a different way this year. I'm trying something new. So that's what I've got for the garden as far as success goes this year. And the failure, of course, I showed in the previous video on the Homestead garden, the big failure of the corn crop. I've got a lot to learn, So this is an adventure for me. Homesteading, as I get into it, is, it's a ever learning process. I've had last year's corn crop was a huge success. So my question is, why this year was the corn crop not that big of a success? Perhaps it's the spot of the garden that I chose to grow it in this year. Last year I grew it right here. And the year before that I grew it right here. And both years were a huge success. So we're going to rethink on where we're going to be planting corn. My daughter planted this variety of sunflowers. There's yellow and orange sunflowers, and they've been very attractive to the bees. All the pollinators. I've caught the little tiny native bee, which is a great pollinator that's native to this continent. The honeybee was introduced to our continent from Europe and Asia. So we are blessed to be able to see this for the first time I've ever seen them, is these little tiny native bees. Though they don't provide honey to us, they still are very valuable in the environment for pollinating plants for food for us. So it's good to see that they are thriving. The bumblebee also. I've heard it said a bumblebee is needed to pollinate the tomato flower, because there's something about the tomato flower that a honeybee can't get to that a bumblebee does, and it pollinates it more efficiently than the other pollinators. So those are a very vital creature to have in your garden. So we're saving seed from these sunflowers also. We're going to dry them out. I'm going to be giving some away and planting some more, especially around my beehives. I'm sharing them with my bee mentor Ken, and he is going to be growing them over on his homestead also. I got some late summer raspberries to harvest as well, and I've got these pole beans that are growing. This is my fall winter crop that I've planted. We've got lettuce growing, I've got carrots growing, and I've got turnips over here I've got to harvest. Grapes are just now doing what the grapes are doing. I haven't had any grapes fruit yet. These grapevines are too new, so we'll see how it goes next year. But as far as the rest of the garden goes, I'm harvesting my squash, the little jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, and then the medium-sized pumpkins. I grew those mainly for the grandkids and to also be a little bit decorative around the homestead and at work. So I'll be taking some to work also. So that's it on the Homestead Garden for today. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen, here at Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. Stay tuned for more videos. They're coming. You can stay tuned if you're new to my channel. Subscribe. That keeps you updated with new videos. Also sharing, clicking that share button down there, really helps out my channel a lot. Also giving me a thumbs up, leaving comments. I like reading some comments as long as they're constructive. And also and complimentary. I don't mind compliments, but I do not like bullying. I deal with those in a different way. Anyway, find us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Reddit, Google+, and that's it. We'll see you guys in another video. Bye-bye.